Shalom. Just give them a second for brothers and sisters to get up in there. Just get started shortly. See a little error between the two maps and timelines. So yeah, I just see a little error. Shalom. First, I'm giving all honor, glory, and praises to the Most High God, Yahweh, and His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus. You know, we the battle axes of the Most High. I'm Soldier Ezariah, or you can call me Soldier Ezra. You know, strong shalom to the brothers out here pushing this truth, being an example, man. Excuse me. Strong shalom to the brothers out here pushing this truth, being an example, man. Not only, you know, our camp, but other camps as well, you know what I'm saying? Strong shalom to the captains and the officers, you know what I'm saying? The brothers and sisters that been in this truth, helping me, watching them grow, making me, you know, want to grow and excel more in this truth, man. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, praise to the Most High God, because they could be anywhere in the world, but, you know, they got, you know, they hearing this truth. You know what I'm saying? We could be anywhere in the world. We could be having a good time, kicking with our family, but notice everybody is putting this truth first. Everybody that you see out here on the four corners, on the corners of the streets, teaching and prophesying, they could be anywhere else in the world. They out here trying to raise up our nation, man. You know what I'm saying? So strong shalom to these brothers and sisters. You know what I'm saying? Because sisters be putting in a good work as well. You know what I'm saying? Being submissive to their husband. Husband might tell them no sometimes, and you know they still submissive. They're not letting their emotions rule over them, and then that's what the younger generation need to see. You know what I'm saying? Because even with that, it was just I think it was a lady. I think she was in Chicago. It was her and her children. You see the things that's going on in this world. You see the lady in Chicago just trying to defend her children. Like, she didn't swing on none of the infants, or none of the children or nothing like that. But she literally tried to defend herself against 12 young, probably middle schoolers. You know what I'm saying? And she ended up, you know, her getting hurt, her son getting hurt, shoot, her daughter getting hurt. And they just trying to walk home from school. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, us out here pushing this truth, pushing God's word. God's words are sharper than any two-edged sword. So what if this word come by any one of them children? that did that thing. You know what I'm saying? And ultimately, we don't think about it right then and there, but it's a punishment for these things. You know what I'm saying? Putting your hands on an adult, it's a punishment for putting your hands on anybody. It's a punishment for everything you do. Like every action that you do out here in this world have consequences, right? You know what I'm saying? Whether it be good or whether it be bad, your actions always have consequences behind them. You know what I'm saying? So I'll pray God for these brothers out here pushing this truth, man. You know what I'm saying? And being that example of a good, godly life. And not the example of what these pastors out here pushing, you know? The notion that these pastors out here pushing, taking usury of our people, only want the people in the congregation for the money, not teaching the correct things. You know what I'm saying? You know, and that's a spirit, man. A money hungry spirit, man. And we gotta examine the things that the world does, the things that Christianity does, things that all these religions do, and we gotta examine what the words of the scriptures tell us to do. And then people love to say that they spiritual, but are you doing the things that pertain to the spirit? You know what I'm saying? You know, if the Bible tells you, Romans chapter 7, verse 14, the people that's spiritual, they keeping the laws because they know that we know that the law is spiritual, but I am carnal, sold under sin. Meaning, our flesh, it always reaps carnal things. It always wants, it desires carnal things. You know what I'm saying? So brothers and sisters pushing these things to the side, you know, to keep these commandments to ultimately try and make it to the kingdom, man. And not only that, but being an example for the other brothers and sisters to try and make it to the kingdom as well. So all praise to the Most High for that, you know. You already know how I like to do it, brothers and sisters. How y'all doing? If y'all want to put it in the chat, y'all can put it in the chat. If not, you know, we still gonna throw up the prayers, man. Right? So getting back on topic of today's class is the split of the kingdom and the history of the kings part 3. Because I know I didn't really get to it. And you know, it's been a lot going on. I really didn't want to do this class today because I just didn't have the time. Tired than a mug. Still got to go back to work. It's a lot going on. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna dive straight into this mud. Let's go to the book of Second Kings. Back to Second Kings. You know, starting where we dropped off from last time. Second Kings chapter 15. So the last time when we stopped at Amaziah to Uzziah, right? On the southern kingdom. In the northern kingdom, we start at Shalom to Menahem, right? So we're gonna start with Menahem, right? In Second Kings chapter 15, and we're gonna start at 13 to get the what's the name of my pen though? Give me 1 second. Really Khan. Let me see. Yeah, let's start at verse 13. 13. Let's start right here. Okay. Let's go ahead and start at 2 Kings chapter 15 and verse 1, right? So, to catch us back up on where we left off last time, right? Book of 2 Kings chapter 15 and verse 1. In the 20th and 7th year of Jerubbaal, king of Israel. Now remind you, this is not Jerubbaal, the son of Solomon. Well, I think it was, matter of fact, I think it was, nah, this is the northern kingdom, Jerubbaal. This is the one who was the son of, this wasn't the son, I think he was an Ephraimite. Yeah, this ain't that one. This ain't the one that was an Ephraimite. This is the northern kingdom, Jerubbaal, but this ain't the Ephraimite, right? So, it says in the 20th and 7th year of Jerubbaal, the king of Israel, right? Now remind you, now this Jerubbaal was in the northern kingdom. He was ruling from the time of 793 BC to 753 BC, meaning the time was ticking down, right? And it says Jerubbaal, king of Israel, began Azariah. Azariah and Uzziah. Remember, these two people, as Azariah, the son of Amaziah, the king of Judah, Amaziah, Azariah, which is Uzziah, he was ruling over the south. He ruled from 792 BC to 740. I can't read my own handwriting. Yeah, 740. Amaziah, this is the son of Amaziah, of the king of Judah to reign, right? So Amaziah, remember, Amaziah was the king of Judah, right? He was the southern kingdom. He ruled from 796 BC to 767 BC, right? Now let's jump down to verse 8. In the 30th and 8th year of Azariah, king of Judah, right? Remind you, Azariah is Uzziah of the southern kingdom. He reigned from 792 to 740 BC. 740 BC. It says, then Zechariah, the son of Jerubbaal, began to reign over Israel in Samaria 6 months. So this is how you know this was the northern he was of the northern kingdom. Zechariah was of the northern kingdom. So you can put 753 BC. See. It says Zechariah 753 BC. Shalak. I always make sure that y'all check up with I believe he only reigned 1 year. Make sure that y'all check out with y'all maps and timelines when y'all going through these histories, putting these kings down at the right time, right? So it says Zechariah, he was he reigned over the northern kingdom in 753 BC. He was the son of Jerubbaal. And Jerubbaal was over the northern kingdom from 793 BC to 753 BC, right? And he reigned over Samaria, right? So let's jump to verse 10. It says, and Shalom, the son of Jabesh, conspired against him and smote him before the people and slew him, and he reigned in his stead. Right? He reigned in his stead. So Shalom was over the northern kingdom, and he reigned over no, matter of fact, let's read verse 9, because it explains. It says that he did that which was evil in the sight of the Lord, as his fathers had done. He departed not from the sins of Jerubbaal, the son of Nebat. Right? So that Jerubbaal, remember, that Jerubbaal, the son of Nebat, he was the one that was during the time of Solomon. He was the one that was during the time of Solomon and Rehoboam, right? So it says, who made Israel to sin? Because remember, it was already prophesied that it was 10 tribes that was gonna go to Jerubbaal and serve under Jerubbaal. From the split of the kingdom, right? Shalom, Shalom. Right? From the split of the kingdom. It First Kings, I want to say, chapter 9 or chapter 10, right? Verse 10, it says, and Shalom, the son of Jabesh, conspired against him. So Shalom was reigning over the northern kingdom, 752 BC, right? It says, and smote him before the people, and slew him, and reigned in his stead. And the rest of the acts of Zechariah, remember, Zechariah, northern kingdom, 753 BC. Right? Behold, they are written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Israel. This is the word of the Lord which he spake unto Jehu, saying, thy sons shall sit on the throne of Israel to the fourth generation. And so it came to pass. Right? It says, Shalom, the son of Jabesh, began to reign in the 30th year of Uzziah, which is Azariah. Uzziah, Azariah, they are the same people. The king of Judah, right? It says, so Shalom was reigning in 752 BC. Make sure y'all put that down. It says, the 9th and 30th year of Uzziah, king of Judah, right? Uzziah reigned, or Uzziah or Azariah, make sure y'all write Azariah down right there. One this is Second Kings chapter 15 and verse 1. This is the same person. Uzziah is Azariah, right? So he reigned over the southern kingdom, 792 BC to 740 BC, right? It says, and he reigned a full month in Samaria. So he only reigned a month. It says, for Menahem, the son of Gadai, went up from Tirzah and came to Samaria and smote Shalom, the son of Jabesh, in Samaria, and slew him and reigned in his stead. Right? So Menahem, he ruled over the northern kingdom from 752 BC to 732 BC. Right? Make sure y'all write that down. It says, I'm going to say it one time. Menahem reigned over the northern kingdom, 752 BC to 732 BC. Right? Time ticks down in BC. AD ticks up. So it says, and he came to Samaria and smote Shalom. Shalom reigned over the northern kingdom for 1 month in 752 BC. Right? The son of Jabesh, who else? This is the son of Jabesh in Samaria, and slew him and reigned in his stead. And the rest of the acts of Shalom and his conspiracy which he made, they are written in the books of the Chronicles of the kings of Israel. Then Menahem smote Tisbah, and Tifsa, and all that were therein, in their from Tirzah, because they opened not to him. Therefore he smote it, and all the women therein that were with child he ripped up. Right? In the 9th year, it says in the 30th year of Azariah, meaning Uzziah, king of Judah, began Menahem to reign. Menahem, the son of Gadai, to reign over Israel, and reigned 10 years. Right? So I want y'all to underline Azariah, king of Judah, put Uzziah. I want you to put Southern Kingdom, right? 792 BC to 740 BC. And I want you to underline Menahem, son of Gadai. Right? Menahem, I want you to put Northern Kingdom. Make sure y'all put 752 BC to 732 BC. Right, over Menahem. And it tells you that he began to reign in Samaria. So when he reigned in Samaria, this is why it's important to get this history too. Because even with the Samaritan woman, that's why it's important to get this history. You know what I'm saying? Even with the Samaritan woman, it was literally kings, Israelite kings that ruled over Samaria. That's why it's important to have this history, right? So now we're finna get Menahem to Pekah, right? And I think on something. I'm freaking this sleepy spirit. It said 14 or 22, right? So let's jump down to verse 22. 2 Kings chapter 15 in verse 22, it says, and Menahem stood up with his fathers, and Pekah his son reigned in his stead. So I want to remind y'all, anytime you see Menahem, go ahead and put north for Northern Kingdom. Put 752 BC to 732 BC. This is Pekahiah. I don't want to say that thing wrong. Pekahiah is Pekahiah. His son reigned in his stead. Now Pekahiah was 742 BC to 740 BC over the Northern Kingdom. Make sure y'all put north. 742, 740 BC. So, verse 23, it says, in the 50th year of Azariah, king of Judah, right? Make sure you put above Azariah, put Uzziah, so y'all won't get mixed up. Put Uzziah, put south. Then put 792 to 742. 792 to 740. BC. Then over Pekahiah, put north, 742 to 740 BC. This is the son of Benaniyah. Yeah, Benaniyah put north. So y'all won't get mixed up. 752, 732 BC. Began to reign over Israel and Samaria and reigned 2 years. So it's literally giving you the time frame, and it's telling you how long that he's reigning, right? Right here, how long he reigned over Samaria, right? So we can check this out. And it's finna go to Pekah. Watch it, bro. Oh, you goodness. And we finna go to Pekah, right? We finna just read down real quick. Verse 24. He did that which was evil in the sight of the Lord, and he departed not from the sins of Jerubbaal, the son of Capt. All right, remember, Jerubbaal. That was what's the name? Right, Jerubbaal. Thought I had it right there. This Jerubbaal that it's talking about is the Jerubbaal from 1 Kings chapter 11. Excuse me. I want to try to get y'all, because that's important as well. 931 to 910. The first Jerubbaal was from 931 to 910. Over the northern kingdom. The son on the back. Up. This is but Pekah, the son of Remaliah. And the thing about, when you get to the New Testament, you see why it be calling these places these things, man. Watch it. Verse 25. But Pekah, the son of Remaliah, a captain of his, conspired against him and smote him in Samaria, in the palace of the king's house, with Argyle and Arabia, and with him 50 men of the Gileadites, and killed him and reigned in his room. Right? So we'll try to underline Pekah. This is telling you when Pekah began to reign. Right? Now Pekah, I want y'all to put, let me see. Pekah, I want y'all to put 752 BC to 732 BC over the northern kingdom. Dang, I'm so tired. But everybody can't be saved. Everybody can't be saved if he only came for the Israelites. Christ told you he only came for the children of Israel, the lost sheep of the house of Israel. So how everybody gonna be saved, right? So, excuse me. But back to what I was saying. For Pekah, put 752 BC to 732 BC. He ruled over the north, right? This is the son of Remaliah. And you see why, man, goodness gracious. Make sure, and this is why I wanted to do, I'm going to start going over regions. Going over the regions that we went through in captivity. Especially when you go to the major captivities, Assyria, think about it, Assyrian, because you got Egyptian, Assyrian. Think about the time and the spaces that they ruled in the regions that they ruled through. It was Israelites scattered over there in those regions. So when they made letters, so when Paul made letters and was addressing them to certain and Pacific people, he was even addressing it to Pacific people. So when he was addressing the letters to certain places as well, you'll start to see why he was addressing these places. He was addressing it to these places because it was Israelites scattered in Greece and it was Israelites scattered in Turkey. You know what I'm saying? Uh, and those are really just the main two places that he was going. Because, which I don't want to get off topic, let's stay on topic, right? Let's jump down to the book of 2 Kings chapter 15 verse 27. It says, in the 250th year of Azariah, make sure you underline Azariah, the king of Judah. I want y'all to put Sal, I want y'all to put Uzziah. So y'all do not forget that this is Uzziah. Put South. Uzziah, South. I want you to put 792 BC to 740 BC. Right? It says Pekah the son of Remaliah began to reign over Israel and Samaria. Right? Shalom, Shalom, King James. Right? So it says Pekah the son of Remaliah began to reign over Israel and Samaria and reigned 20 years. So now, right, remember, underline Pekah, right above them, put north, right? And if brothers and sisters, if y'all want to put how y'all doing and how y'all week been in the chat, y'all can put that thing in the chat. If not, we're going to still throw up the prayer for you, right? So, Pekah, with Pekah, put north. I want you to put 752 BC to 732 BC. Right? And then it explains that he reigned 20 years. And it's giving you the timeline. Make sure y'all go get y'all one of these Bible maps, insert, right? And I even got the big one. I like to use this one with, you know what I'm saying? Getting that mud from 2-3 witnesses. You know what I'm saying? I had a little error right here because it says Pekahiah was swapped with in this one it says Pekahiah was swapped with hold on. Let's see if I can find it. This is what I was talking about earlier. It says Pekah and Pekahiah was swapped. But that's not the case. I'm gonna let y'all see this and don't get, you know what I mean, swindled by that thing. Y'all see it say Pekah and Pekahiah, right? We just seen that Pekahiah reigned before Pekah did. You know, it was always. He said, "What was the second charge?" I'm gonna show you again. Give me a second. But I don't want y'all. You know, when y'all. That's why it's good to have 2 or 3 witnesses. You know what I'm saying? It says Pekah and Pekahiah was swapped in this one, right? But as you can see, Pekahiah reigned before Pekah and slew Pekahiah, right? I mean, and Pekah slew Pekahiah. I mean, I worded it differently. So Pekahiah, he reigned before Pekah, but Pekah came and he was a captain of Pekahiah, and he slew him, right? He smote him, right? So in this map by timelines and map, hold on, right? In this map and timelines, it'll show you that Pekahiah ran from 742 BC, and it says Pekah reigned 752. Hold on, 752 to 732. These things will swindle you, man. You know what I'm saying? Right? Because think about it. Benaniyah slept with his fathers. Watch this. Menahem slept with his fathers, and Pekah, his son, reigned in his city. It says, and that's why you got to be careful with these things. It says Menahem was at 752, Pekah was at 752, and Pekahiah was at 742. Over here, a blurry. Menahem was 752 to 742. Pekahiah was 742 to 740. But Pekah was 752 to 732. Right? And remember, it's saying these things because he was a captain of he was saying these things because he was a captain of what's his name? Pekahiah, god dang it. And he might have been a captain of Menahem. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it's saying right there that Pekah was there from 752 to 732. You know what I'm saying? You got to be careful about that because you will get swindled by these things. You know what I'm saying? But Pekah reigned for 20 years, right? But Pekah reigned for 20 years. So, give me one. Brother said he wanted, Brother said he wanted to get that. Make sure you get the Rose Book of Bible charts and map timelines. I try and take both of these things, both of these books, right, and put the knowledge together and filter these things through the scriptures, right? Trying to get these things and filter these things through the scriptures. On down, gotta make sure y'all be careful, you know, because it'll tell you these things, and you'll be like, okay, so why? You'll be like, so why is it saying that he reigned reigned before a time that if he slew this dude, you know what I'm saying? It will throw you off, right? So get back to it, right? Opinion though. Right? So remember, Pekahiah was ruling over the northern kingdom verse 27, it says, in the 250th year of Azariah, which is Uzziah, he was over the southern kingdom, right? The king of Judah. It was Uzziah, southern kingdom, 792 to 740 BC. Pekah, the son of Remaliah, right? 752 to 732. Began to reign over Israel and Samaria and reigned 20 years, right? So, scratch that down. Now we're finna go to Jose or Jose. I don't know how they would pronounce his name, right? Shalom. Brother Ehud, Alcifer, Ehud, Shalom, Alcifer, right? But getting back to it, man. Let's jump down to let's get the context in verse 29. 2 Kings chapter 15 and verse 29, it says, in the days of Pekah, king of Israel, came Tiglath-Pileser, king of Assyria, and took Ijon and Abel Beth, Machiah, and Genoa, and Kadesh, and Hazor, and Gilead, and Galilee, all the land of Naphtali, and carried them captive to Assyria. This is why it's important, right, to get this history right here, because this is the beginning of the Assyrian captivity right here. It tell you, matter of fact, when you read from verse 27, understanding that Pekah started to rule over the land, the northern kingdom, this is what happened. Verse 28, he did that which was evil in the sight of the Lord, and he departed not from the sins of Jerubbaal, the son of Nebat, who made Israel to sin. And he made those them golden calves. It's like the same golden calves back in Egypt, right? So, boom, verse 29 tells you, for this happening now, think about all these lands and these people. These lands and these people was carried into the Assyrian captivity. And this is literally just telling you that the northern kingdom went into the Assyrian captivity. That's why in Matthew chapter 4, verse 15, it says, the book of Matthew chapter 4, verse 15, the land of Zebulun and the land of Nephthalim, by the way of the sea beyond Jordan, Galilee of the Gentiles. Now, when you get the understanding of this stuff, you start to see, okay, yeah, they were carried away captive in Assyria, right? The Lord put his hand and smote the northern kingdoms, man, right? So make sure y'all highlight this, verse 29, put a line by that mud, square it, box it, and make sure y'all put Assyrian, the beginning of the Assyrian captivity, in what time? Around 720 BC, right? And I think they said it might have been like 722, right? The Assyrian captivity might have started at around like 722 BC, right? Verse 30. And Oshi, the son of Elon, conspired against Pekah, the son of Remaliah, and smote him, right? It says, and slew him, and reigned in his stead in the 20th year of Jotham, the son of Uzziah. Right? So make sure y'all underline Hosea. Right? We finna get him. Hosea reigned from 732 to 722. Right? Over the northern kingdom. So make sure you put north. 732. Hold on, let me make sure. Yeah, 732 to 722 BC. Right? It says Hosea, the son of Elah, made a conspiracy against Pekah, the son of Remaliah, and smote him and slew him. So make sure y'all put Pekah again, put over Pekah again, put north. Make sure y'all write 730, 752, Shalaki. 752 to 732 BC. Now, remember this too. It says, and smote him and slew him, and reigned in his stead in the 20th year of Jotham, the son of Uzziah. Hold on. What do it say that Jotham was? Because you want to get from Uzziah to Jotham. It says 15 to 32. 1532. Wait, what? Hold on. Oh, okay, yeah. It kind of jumps ahead, right? Because this is the end of the northern kingdom kings. It's just telling you that Hosea was reigning after Pekah, after he slew Pekah, right? Telling you that Hosea was reigning after he slew Pekah. So in Jotham, it's finna explain in verse 32. So we're gonna read verse 31 real quick. That excuse me, and then go down to verse 32. It says, "In the rest of the acts of Pekah and all that he did, behold, they are written in the book of the chronicles of the kings of Israel. In the second year of Pekah, the son of Remaliah, king of Israel, began Jotham, the son of Uzziah, king of Israel, to reign. King of Judah to reign." So it's telling you while Pekah was reigning, I want y'all to make sure. I want to make sure that I want y'all. Matter of fact, to go back up to Jotham. Go back up to Jotham. Right, 750 on verse 30. Right, 750 BC to 732 is over the southern kingdom. But south up there, 750 to 732 BC. Then put over Uzziah. I need y'all to put Azariah to remind y'all that this is Azariah. Put south, then put 7, because I should have wrote that down right there too. 792 to put 792 to 740 BC. Now, when you get here in Peckham, in the second year of Peckham, the son of Benaniyah, right, put Northern Kingdom 752 to 732. Right? Now, it says he was a king of Israel. I mean, the son of Benaniyah, king of Israel, began Jotham to reign. Remember, Jotham was 750. He was over the southern kingdom. He reigned from 750 to 732, I believe. Yeah, 750 to 732 BC. And then it says the son of Uzziah, the king of Judah, right, to reign. So Jotham reigned, Uzziah, right here, John, put Azariah, put south over Uzziah, then put 792 to 792, 740 BC. Right? It says 5 and 20 years old when he was 5 and 20 years old was he when he began to reign, and reigned 16 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name was Jerusha, the daughter of Zodak. Right? He did that which was right in the eyes of the Lord, in the sight of the Lord, that he did according to all that his father's Uzziah had done. Right? Howbeit, the high places were not removed. The people sacrificed and burned incense still in the high places. He built the higher gate of the house of the Lord. Now the rest of the acts of Jotham and all that he did, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Judah? In those days the Lord began to sin against Judah, Rezin, the king of Syria, and Pekah, the son of Remaliah. Right? So this it kind of goes into the history of Isaiah chapter 7. Matter of fact, I want to say, yeah, Isaiah chapter, yeah, 7 and verse 2. So this, I will try to precept these together. Isaiah chapter 7 and verse 2, it says, and it was told the house of David, saying, Syria is confederate with Ephraim. This is by the Lord in the book of 2 Kings chapter 15 and verse 37. So make sure y'all write that down. Right? Make sure y'all write these things, vice versa. Right? It says that Jotham slept with his fathers and was buried with his fathers in the city of David, his father. And Ahaz, his son, reigned in his stead. It says Ahaz, his son, reigned in his stead. And Ahaz was over the southern kingdom. I want you to underline Jotham first. Put south 750 to 732 BC. Then underline Ahaz, his son reigned in his stead, right? Ahaz, southern king. Ahaz reigned from 735 to 716. Right? So, let's start at verse 16. Let me make sure I keep up. So, Ahaz to Hezekiah. Right? Ahaz to Hezekiah started verse 16. Right? I mean, it's chapter 16, verse 1. The book of 2 Kings, chapter 16, and verse 1. In the 17th year of Pekah, the son of Remaliah's son, right? The line of Pekah. It says, Ahaz, the son of Jotham, king of Judah, began to reign. I want y'all to continue to do this. Pekah. Every time y'all see Pekah, Northern Kingdom 752 to 732. BC. Now Ahaz, 735. South, put south. 735, 716 BC. Right? And make sure y'all write there where they was conspired. I mean, they was confederate together with Pekah and the king of Assyria, Rezin. I want y'all to underline Pekah and Rezin too. But underline Pekah, put over Pekah, northern, up there in verse 37, 15 to 37. Shit like. So, yeah, underline Pekah up there, verse 15, I mean, chapter 15 to verse 37. But 752, 732. Right? Let's jump back down. 2 Kings chapter 16 to verse 1. In the 17th year of Pekah, the son of Remaliah, Ahaz, the son of Jotham, which you can underline Jotham as well, the southern, 750, 732 BC. It says the king of Judah began to reign. 20 years old was Hezekiah when he began to reign, and reigned 16 years in Jerusalem. So underline reigned 16 years. These things are important. It's telling you how long he reigned. It says in Jerusalem and did that, and did not that which was right in the sight of the Lord his God, like David his father, right? But he walked the way of the kings of Israel, right? So as you can see, we literally starting to see even the southern kingdom kings, they wasn't doing things that was righteous either, right? So watch this. Uh, verse 3 from the top, it says, but he walked in the way of the kings of Israel, yeah, and made his son to pass through the fire, man. And make sure y'all underline this, because and get that precept too. Leviticus chapter 18 and verse 21. You should not make your child pass through the fire, man. that needs to be put right there in precept. The book of Leviticus chapter 18 and verse 21. And thou shalt not let any of thy seed pass through the fire of Molech, neither shall thou profane the name of the Lord thy God and of the Lord, man. We're not supposed to let our seed pass through the fire. And the thing about it is, every time, this is why, I understood why Captain Jerubbaal was like, our foundation is based off of the curses. First things first is these laws. The second thing, is the curses. You see what laws they broke, then you see what curses that activated. And then you see what happened when they kept the law. You know what I'm saying? The Bible, once you have those things, you'll have a smooth path through the scriptures. Once you start understanding what law they break, you know what I'm saying? Understanding the laws, what law they broke, if they kept the commandments, and what curses. You know what I'm saying? Once you start to understand those things, then you'll have a smooth trail through the Bible. You know what I'm saying? Right? But let's get back to it. Verse 4, it says, wait, did I finish that up? No, I didn't. Verse 3, it says, but he walked in the way of the kings of Israel, and made his son to fast through the fire, according to the abomination of the heathen, right? And we always follow after the ways of the heathen, man. The same thing that the Lord told us not to do. Because every law, statute, and commandment was basically the opposite of what all the other nations and all the heathens was doing, right? It went against all their customs, right? The law, statutes, and commandments went against all the customs of the heathen. It says he sacrificed and burnt incense in the high places, right? So underlining that too. And on the hills and under every green tree. Then Rezin, the son of Syria, right? Underline Rezin, the son of Syria. The king of Syria, Shalak. And Pekah, the son of Remaliah, king of Israel, came up to Jerusalem to war. And they besieged Ahaz, right? And they besieged Ahaz, but could not overcome him, right? The Lord wasn't allowing Ahaz to be overcome, right? It was coming against him. But, I want y'all to make sure y'all underline Pekah. I want y'all to, put a little star or arrow by verse number 5. Underline Pekah. Write the same thing. Because it's giving you the history, right? Northern, put north, 752, 732 BC. It says, and they besieged Ahaz, right? Just put south, put 735. To 716. All right. Said audio low. Can you hear me now? It says, Hezekiah next. But can y'all hear me though? Probably because I was talking low at that time. But, yeah, put one in the chat if y'all brothers and sisters can hear me, man. Go back over there real quick. Verse 5 from the top. Alright, all praise. All praise. Verse 5 from the top, it says, Then Rezin, the king of Assyria, and Pekah, remember, underline Pekah, son of Remaliah, right, king of Israel, underline Pekah, above Pekah, put north 752 BC to 732 BC, right? And then it says, Remaliah, king of Israel, came up to Jerusalem to war, and they besieged Ahaz, but could not overcome him. And I want y'all to underline Ahaz, put south 735 to 716, right? At the time, Rezin, king of Syria, recovered Elad to Syria, right, and drove the Jews. And this is where you start hearing the word Jews. It says, and this, I'm gonna read it again. The book of 2 Kings, chapter 16, and verse 6. At that time, Rezin, king of Syria, recovered Elad to Syria. It drave the Jews from Elad, and the Syrians came to Elad to dwell there unto this day. And Ahaz, you know what I'm saying, you can put a star around number 6 on the line Jews, because it didn't do nothing but talk about the southern kingdom, right? So, verse 7, so Ahaz sent messengers to Tiglath-Pileser, king of Syria, saying, I am thy servant and thy son. Come up and save me out of this. Excuse me. Come up and save me out of the hand of the king of Syria. King of Syria. And out of the hand of the king of Israel, which rise up against me. And Ahaz took the silver and gold that was found in the house of the Lord and in the treasuries of the king's house, and sent it for a present to the king of Syria, right? And the king of Assyria hearkened unto him, right? For the king of Assyria went up against Damascus and took it, right? And carried the people of it captive to Kir and slew Rezin, man. You know what I'm saying? This is a good history, you know what I'm saying, to go over, which we ain't gonna touch on all of it, but you know what I'm saying, it's just a good history to go over. You read these things. But let's get back to it. Let's go to the book of Second Kings. Second Kings chapter 15. You said 15, 38. No, that ain't it. Hold on. To Hezekiah, man. 18. Hold on. Yeah, 18. Because 17 is going into how the northern kingdom went into the Assyrian captivity, right? Now, book of 2 Kings, chapter 18. Let's start at verse 1. Now it came to pass in the 3rd year of Hoshea, the son of Elah, right? Hoshea, and put 732 to 722 over and then it say king of Israel. He was over the northern kingdom, 732, 722. It says that Hezekiah, the son of Ahaz, king of Judah, began to reign. So you underline Hezekiah, right? 716 to 786. 716 to 687. Put south 716 6 to 687 BC. Then on the line Ahaz Ahaz, 735 to 716. South, 735, 716. Right? BC. It says 25 years old was he when he began to reign. Right? And he reigned 29 years in Jerusalem. Right? His mother's name was also Ivy. It says the daughter of Zechariah. Right? Right. So now let's go. Since we got Hezekiah, right? Now let's get Hezekiah to Manasseh. Manasseh was ruling. He was a southern kingdom ruler. 2 Kings chapter 20 and verse 21. Right? So, boom. The book of 2 Kings chapter 20 and verse 21. And Hezekiah slept with his fathers, right? I want y'all to underline Hezekiah. Remember, 716 to 687. South, 716, 680, 687. Right. BC. It says, and Manasseh, his son, reigned in his stead. So for Manasseh, put 697. Hold on. Yeah. It said, I guess it was a 10-year gap. It was a lot. Oh, so I guess, yeah, that makes sense. Right? So it's finna explain why it is saying that Manasseh was basically 697. Right? It's finna explain it. It's finna explain it. So from Manasseh, put south, 697 to 643 BC. And it's finna give you the understanding why. Chapter 21 and verse 1. The book of 2 Kings, chapter 21 and verse 1. Manasseh was 12 years old when he began to reign. So we see why it says Hezekiah slept with his fathers, right? But he reigned from 716 to 687, right? But it says Manasseh reigned from 697 to 643 BC, because he was born 10 years. He was born 12 years before Hezekiah died, right? So it says Manasseh was 12 years old when he began to reign, and reigned 55 years in Jerusalem, right? So make sure y'all underline, square, box, Manasseh, put south, put 647 to 643. 697. So like 697 to 643 BC. Remember that the time is ticking down. It's raining and stuff. And we almost done too. We got literally 3 more, maybe 4. Right? So now we finna get Manasseh to Ammon. And that's in 2 Kings chapter 21 in verse, it say, I wrote down verse 18. So let's go there. Right. So watch this. The book of 2 Kings chapter 21 and verse 18. It says, and Manasseh slept with his father, underlining Manasseh, puts out, putting 697 to 643 BC. To 643 BC. He slept with his father, and he was buried in the garden of his own house, and the garden of Uzzah, and Ammon, his son, reigned in his stead, right? So we're going to underline Ammon and put 643 to 641 over the southern kingdom. South, 643, 641 BC. It says, just go to, let's read down real quick. And Ammon was 22 years old when he began to reign, and reigned 2 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name was Meshulamet, right? It says, the daughter of Haruz of Jotbah. You know what I'm saying? They be having some crazy names. We gonna get there, right? He did that which was evil in the sight of the Lord, as his father Manasseh did, right? He walked in all the ways of his father Manasseh. He walked in all the way that his father Manasseh walked in, and served the idols, right? Underlining that his father served and worshipped them. I had to fight that thing on me. But yeah, let's go ahead and go to 2 Kings chapter 21 and verse 24. Just literally jumping down. And the people of the land slew all of them that had conspired against King Ammon, right? And the people of the land made Josiah, his son, king in his stead, right? Underlining King Ammon, putting south, 643 BC to 641. And made Josiah his son and ran in his stead, and Josiah reigned from 641 to 609. Put south of Josiah, put 641 to 609. Right? It just literally says that Josiah reigned in his stead. Right? Now we're going to get Josiah to Jehoahaz. So like 2 Kings chapter 23 and verse 28. So 2 Kings chapter 23 and verse 28. And it reads, it says, now the rest of the acts of Josiah and all that he did, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Judah? In his days, Pharaoh Necho, king of Egypt, went up against the king of Assyria to the rivers of Euphrates, right? And King Josiah went against him and slew him at Megiddo, right? And he went, and it says, when he had seen him, and his servants carried him in a chariot dead from Megiddo, brought him to Jerusalem, and buried him in his own sepulchre. And the people of the land took Jehoahaz, the son of Josiah, and anointed him, and made him king in his father's stead. Right. So this is where you see the land is getting. The king, the crown is given from Josiah to Jehoahaz. Right. It says that Jehoahaz reigned over the southern kingdom in 609. I don't think he lasts long. This Jehoahaz, his name was Shalom. We need to make sure we write down Shalom over Jehoahaz. It says the son of Josiah. Underline Josiah. Make sure y'all put 641 to 609. And put south over the southern king. Right? So read down to 31. So it's more kings after this. Just checking the time that we have. So it says Jehoiakim. After Jehoahaz, it was Jehoiakim, right? And I'm finna get where he is right now. Second Kings chapter 24. Nah, that ain't right. Oh. Yeah, Second Kings chapter 23. Now let's go to Second Kings chapter 23 and verse. Let's start at. Let's see. Let's just start at verse 34. Yeah, let's just start at verse 34. The book of Second Kings chapter 23 and verse 34. And Pharaoh Necho made Eliakim, the son of Josiah, in the room of Josiah his father, and turned his name to Jehoiakim, right? Jehoiakim, right? We need to make sure that we put a star by this, underlined it. Esau say it underline, underline, right? Eliakim, the son of Josiah, and turned his name to Jehoiakim, because they were doing, think about it, even during the time of Daniel, they changed Daniel's name Shadrach to Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. You know what I'm saying? Right? They were doing these things when they was obtaining our people as well. Right? Because Jehoaz, he did evil in the sight of the Lord as well. Right? Hold on. So what I'm thinking, so basically Jehoaz and Elikim, they was brothers, right? Jehoaz and Elikim, they was brothers. And Jehoaz did that which was evil in the sight of the Lord when you read up in verse 32, right? And I wonder, I'm trying to piece it together. I want to just read the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to get the main points out of this. You know what I'm saying? So when you read that, go to Elikim, put 609 to 650. I mean to 598 BC over the Southern Kingdom. Because this is the time Zephaniah. This is the time with Zephaniah, you know, Ezekiel, Habakkuk, Daniel, Obadiah. These are the times of these books right here, right? So Ezekiel, when you turn his name into Jehoiakim, right? Let's read on verse 35. It says, I'm going to read on. It says, and he took Jehoaz away, and he came to Egypt, and there he died. Right? So Jehoaz, underline Jehoaz, hey, he took Jehoaz away, and he came to Egypt, and he died in Egypt. So Jehoaz, I want you to write Can y'all hear now? Con, that's a bit. What you mean, kings from where? These are. This is the history of the kings of Israel. This is why it's in Hebrews. This is the history of the kings of. We're going through the book of first. We did 3 parts on this. First Kings, Second Kings, and we're doing the 3rd part on the Second Kings. Right. So these are the history of the Israelite kings that was ruling. Excuse me, y'all. That was ruling over the. This is the history of the kings that was ruling over the northern kingdom, and the history of the kings that was ruling over the southern kingdom of Israel. Right. This is what we're going on. Right. So I don't know if y'all heard, but uh, verse 34 was very important. Uh, Getting an understanding of how Eliakim, which his name was Jehoiakim, right? Jehoiakim, he reigned. So Shalom is Jehoahaz, right? Jehoahaz, right? His Shalom is Jehoahaz. Make sure y'all write that over Jehoahaz. Put Shalom, so y'all won't get lost. Jehoiakim is Eliakim, right? It says cut off right after name change. I'm trying to have kind of having a what you mean by cut off right after having a name change? But yeah, Jehoaz, he basically oh, okay, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Yeah. Verse 34. Yeah. So let's read that again, then. We'll just read it again. The book of 2 Kings, chapter 23, verse 34. It says, Pharaoh Necho made Eliakim, the son of Josiah, king in the room of Josiah his father, and turned his name to Jehoiakim, and took Jehoaz away, and he came to Egypt and died there. So this is how you see the transfer of the kingdom switch from Josiah to his brother Eliakim, right? Which his name was Jehoiakim, right? Boom. Let's go. Let's let's read on. I really don't want to. I really don't want to. But we gotta get this history though, right? So, boom. We want to get Jehoiachin, right? Second Kings chapter 24 to 25. Let me see something. Cause we wrapping it up right here. Let's go to Second Kings chapter 24 and verse 6. It says, so Jehoiakim slept with his fathers, and Jehoiachin, his son, reigned in his stead. Now I want y'all to you already know that the underline Jehoiakim, right? And for Jehoiakim, make sure y'all put 609 to 598 BC. and I want y'all to put South. Then Jehoiachin, his son, reigned in his stead. So Jehoiachin, make sure y'all put 598 to 5 to 597. He didn't reign though. Put South 598 to 597 BC. Right? So boom. Let's go to, it's finna go from Jehoiachin to Zedekiah, right? Shalaki. We almost up out of here. Cause chapter 25 is the last chapter right here. Chapter 25 is the last chapter before you get to the Chronicles. But in the Chronicles, it goes through in-depth history. You know, it goes through more detailed history, right? That's why what we was reading through, you'll see that it was talking about, is it not written in the book of the Chronicles, right? So boom, Zedekiah, 2 Kings chapter 20. Zedekiah. Let's start. Let's start at uh, 2 Kings chapter 24 and verse. I guess. I'm trying to see, because I want to get the part where it says that the kingdom basically was translated from Jehoiachin to Zedekiah. This is good history right here. Well, let's get verse 12 first. Let's just get verse 12 to get an understanding, and then we'll jump over to verse 17. So let's go to the 2 Kings chapter 12. Yeah. I know, but I was trying to get the understanding of what happened right then, because it's like you wanna show them where it's being translated over. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna get what happened to Jehoiachin first, to see why he got to basically see why Zedekiah got shit over on top, it rained in his stead. So let's go to chapter 24 and verse 12. It says that Jehoiakim, the king of Israel, went out to the king of Babylon, he and his mother, and his servants, and his princes, and his officers. And the king of Babylon took him in the 8th year of his reign. And he carried out thence all the treasures of the houses of the Lord, of the house of the Lord, and the treasures of the king's house, and cut in pieces all of the vessels of gold, which Solomon, king of Israel, had made in the temple of the Lord, as the Lord had said, right? And he carried away all Jerusalem and all the princes. So this is letting you know that this is going into the Babylonian captivity, right? It says, and all the princes and all the mighty men of valor and 10,000 captives. I mean, even 10,000 captives, and all the craftsmen and smiths. None remain, save the poorest sort of the people of the land, right? So, Lord always left a remnant, right? He carried away Jehoiachin to Babylon, and the king's mother, and the king's wives, and his officers, and the mighty man of the land. Those carried he into captivity from Jerusalem to Babylon, and all the men of might, right? I really didn't want to read down, but let's read. It says, and all the men of might, even 7,000, and craftsmen and smiths, 8,000, all that were strong and out for war. Even them the king of Babylon brought captive to Babylon. And the king of Babylon made Benaniyah his father's brother king in his stead, and changed his name to Zedekiah. Right? So underline these. Changed his name to Zedekiah. So Zedekiah put 597 to 586. And put Seth. This is basically the last king. Yep. This is the last king right there. Zedekiah. Right there. So boom. All praise to the most high. Khan. But all praise to the most high. Hopefully this class was edifying to brothers and sisters, getting the history of these kings. You know, make sure y'all like, share, subscribe. Make sure y'all help push this truth to the four corners of the earth. These you know, troubling times. Make sure y'all throwing up prayers for one another. If you need help, brothers and sisters, reach out. You know, make sure y'all, you know, taking care of yourselves, health wise, mentally wise, staying in the spirit, man. You know what I'm saying? All praise to the Most High. We appreciate the honor that y'all send in. You know, cash apps, GoFundMe's, whatever the case may be for the you know, because these things go towards helping build the nation, you know what I'm saying? So, with that, you know how we do's it. We like to get laws, man. And I guess we could go ahead and get Leviticus chapter 18 again. 18 and verse 21, right? Because these times is coming up where it's Christmas and Thanksgiving and all the Halloween. We get Halloween, you know what I'm saying? And there's like, oh, you know, just like brothers were saying, man, how y'all, you know, people say they love to do things for their children and stuff like that. How you doing? You love to do stuff for your children, but you the main one in a Halloween costume, or you in a Thanksgiving spirit, or in a Christmas spirit. I only do these things for my child. So this scripture is for these brothers and sisters that say they do these things for their child, man. Right? The book of Leviticus, chapter 18 and verse 21. This is a law. And thou shalt not let any of thy seed is going into your children, pass through the fire of Molech. Neither shalt thou profane the name of the Lord thy God. I am the Lord, man. And you know, in these holidays, you know what I'm saying, you gotta teach teach your child what they was doing to us, man. Cause even if think about Christmas. Why do you think they hang ornaments from the trees, man? Because they was hanging us on trees, man. Right? That's why they hang them ornaments on the trees. We are the ornaments. We are them lights that was hung on them trees. Why you think we the Israelites? We the ones that was hanging on the trees and stuff like that on Christmas Day, man. Don't let your people, don't let your children celebrate these even wicked Thanksgiving, man. Which I think is next week. I believe it's next week. But don't let your children celebrate this wicked Thanksgiving, man. The slaughtering of the Indians, man. Right? Don't let your children pass through the fire, man. Molest, man. And with that, I say shalom, man. Hopefully that class.